Okay, so lunchtime inclusive thoughts today. When a child tells you that they are non binary, don't assume that they're confused. In fact, I feel like it might even mean the opposite. If they know that they do not identify with a binary and they're saying that they're non binary, they're not confused. They're non binary, period. And if you hear other people calling them gender confused, you should correct them.
I'm back with a gender inclusive tip for elementary school teachers. So this is a test page from an assessment I gave recently, and it really is just having students analyze the work of like two made-up kids, Emma and Cody. And what you might notice about Emma's work is that there are no pronouns. We see Emma's work, we see explain why Emma wrote, 5 plus 100, etc. But the creators of this sheet never gave Emma a pronoun. And so while I was grading it, a lot of the comments I would say use they, them pronouns, or just kind of mix it up and sometimes use she, her, or use he, him. Down here we notice Cody, we do get a pronoun, it's a he, so that's pretty straightforward. But here, Emma, we can't assume there are pronouns, so we just use gender neutral language.
We're trying to break our heteronormative society that we live in and tell kids it's not normal to be straight. It's normal to be you. It's normal to feel comfortable in your shoes. It's normal to feel comfortable in your skin, regardless of the color of it, regardless of the gender, regardless of who you are. You need to be comfortable. And better yet, you need to accept people's differences, and you need to love diversity and love the differences of our class. And when you have that, when they become adults, that's gonna change the world.
Another piece of visibility is you as the educator, and it's your business and your safety which comes first. But for me, disclosing that I am gay is really important because I have a safe and affirming community, and I may be the first gay adult that some of our students have seen, met, or have had as a teacher.
Let's talk about gender roles and talking about them in the classroom. So this last week, as you all know, was Valentine's Day, and this is what my students discussed through the week. Wow. It wasn't the first time they were talking about the gender binary. We already talked about pronouns. We had talked about girl and boy stereotypes. We had named those stereotypes. Talking about access, we've been talking about trans rights. Recently, we've been having discussions about power and dynamics of power in our society, which leads right into social norms, which leads right into the gender binary. Our discussions were amazing, y'all. This is my thing. Out of those discussions, we ended up moving into self-love because I realized so many of my students were already looking at themselves and at their bodies and even at their gender negatively. This to say that the gender binary is constantly harming us day to day. Only a few people gain power from it. Everyone else is trying to conform to the societal norms. This harm, as we're already seeing, starts at a young age.
Alright, we have to talk about this right-wing idea of parents' rights. It's literally just fascism. As far as I can tell, parents' rights means allowing parents to control their kids, even in ways that are harmful to their kids. Obviously, as an educator, I believe strongly in the importance of parents and families and other primary caregivers instilling morals and discipline and principles in their kids. I see educators' role as partnering with parents and other caregivers to form a collaborative support network for every child. However, some parents and caregivers unfortunately do not support their kids the way they should. The fact of the matter is, parents and caregivers who reject their children's gender identities are not taking care of their children. Kids whose families refuse to affirm their child's true gender identity are at greatly increased risk of suicide attempts, self-harm, substance abuse, homelessness, low academic performance, and other serious mental health issues. Conservatives who claim that their real concern is parents' rights are just trying to use a family-friendly excuse for wanting trans people to not exist.
One student was like, "Do you believe that there's multiple genders, like in this country?" And I said, yeah, I mean, depending on where you live, there could be no genders, or there could be more than 3, depending on your culture and your society. In our society, I do believe that there are multiple genders.
When I started teaching this year, I drastically changed my appearance. I had a surgery. I started taking hormones. I cut off all my hair. I have a mustache now. Kids got confused. Again, because they still called me Miss and they called me she, her. So they were confused. They asked me, are you a boy? And I just said no. Are you a girl? I said no. Do I call you Mr.? No. Do I call you Mrs.? No. They were confused. So I posted in this private trans teacher group about this situation, and I said, and I quote, I am mostly enjoying the confusion about what I am. Wonder what they're going to do when I have a mustache and a skirt later this week.
The goal of the transition closet is for our students to be able to wear the clothes that their parents approve of, come to school, and then swap out into the clothes that fit who they truly are.